Hello everyone. In this video, we are going to talk about the economic disruptions caused in India by the COVID pandemic. First, let's understand what was the condition of the Indian economy before the COVID pandemic hit. Then we'll talk about what were the economic disruptions as well as the degree of these disruptions caused by the pandemic. Finally, we'll talk about remedial measures which the country can take to mitigate this disaster. Firstly, Indian economy was already going through a period of slump in its GDP growth because of slump in the demand, which was occurring because of the problems facing the financial sector of the country. The GDP growth had dropped to as low as 3%. It was during this time, government was taking measures to use up its reserves to pump money into the economy to revitalize the demand. It was during this adverse conditions that the COVID pandemic hit us. Because of the need for lockdown, not only in India but across the globe, there were disruptions of the supply chain on a very large scale. Manufacturing firms, especially, had difficulties not only in sourcing their inputs as but also supplying their outputs to the global markets. Additionally, service sectors such as the hospitality sector and the travel sector were among the ones which were hit the hardest. The World Bank released its report, which stated that Indian economy was forecasted to go through a period of 5% decline in 2020. Furthermore, WHO stated that by the year 2022, as the COVID pandemic would have been brought under control and economic activities would have been resumed, India would probably see a growth rate of around 5%. But as we can see, the COVID pandemic, especially the COVID virus, is undergoing several biological genetic mutations, because of which there are multiple waves of it, because of which the resumption of the economic activity looks still far away in the future. In this light, we need to understand what are the steps that can be taken to first control the COVID pandemic. And once the pandemic is brought under control, what are the steps can be taken to revitalize the economy? Firstly, the COVID pandemic brought into light the various shortcomings of the Indian healthcare sector. We have seen that our hospitals as well as the healthcare system overall is very under-equipped. For the India needs to use its existing resources as well as the aid that it has obtained from the World Bank to revitalize and revamp its healthcare sectors. Firstly, we need to provide testing centers across the country, which should be complemented by the availability of vaccination centers. Furthermore, we know that we already have an existing healthcare infrastructure under the National Rural Healthcare Mission. Though these existing primary healthcare centers as well as the sub centers should be equipped with better and trained medical personnel. Additionally, we have to undertake healthcare sessions on a very national scale, and it has to be conducted repeatedly to ensure that people understand, and the nature of people not wearing masks, which has become rampant in the country, should be eliminated. Through these processes, once the virus is brought under control and the lockdown can be safely discarded, we can look forward to starting the economic activity once again. However, in this light, the international travel has to be closely monitored to ensure that further outbreaks do not happen. After that, India should take expansionary fiscal policy as well as expansionary monetary policy. Money has to be pumped into the Indian economy to provide credit facilities to all the small as well as the medium term enterprises who have been literally wiped out of their businesses. Through the availability of cheaper as well as faster credits, these sectors, which form the backbone of the Indian economy, can be revitalized. During this process of financing this credit, India needs to use its resources wisely as well as closely coordinate with several international financing agencies to ensure that it does not fall into the trap of long-term debt. Thank you.